£13 million to build a Champions League worthy squad when the squad that ended last year was 450 to 1 to win La Liga. It's been a long, hard summer transfer-wise. I'm bringing you all those transfers, a match with Atletico Madrid and the group stage draw for the Champions League. It's all happening today. But before we get into those transfers, I just want to say thank you for the support on the series and the channel as a whole. If you've not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and like the video, comment down below. Let me know what you think about these transfers. Let me know what you think about our chances in the Champions League. Of course, we'll go into that probably as a 4th seed, so it's going to be fun. But yes, let's dive into those transfers now. We'll start with Andros Townsend, even though he technically went during the course of last season. Left at the very end, £2 million. There he is. He's in LA. There's only 3 other outbounds at this stage. Cervantes, the goalkeeper we used in Series 1, he was quite good, in fairness, but outclassed now. He's gone to Japan. They're both injured, weirdly. One of our youth prospects, Lucas Suarez, was nicked by Real Madrid. When Real Madrid come knocking for a youth player, you can't say no, really. I've rejected every other offer for every other player. Real Madrid have only gone for this one. Just over £500,000, and we've got a future fee in case he's sold on. So we might be right there. We made a profit, at the very least. Kakabazi went for his release fee of £1.3 million. We offered him out for that. A few people opted for it, and off he went to St. Gallen in the end. Again, looked like Cervantes, just outclassed now by the rest of the squad. Sad to see him go. He actually wasn't first choice in Season 1. I felt like I used him the most. He actually had exactly the same number of appearances as Shaq Moore, with a slightly worse average rating. So every time I've called Kakabazi first choice in Season 1, I've been lying. So sorry about that. So that's the outbounds. Now for the inbounds. That's what you really care about, though, isn't it? I'm just going to start with the youth prospects. There's a lot of 2-star players that have gone into the B team, most of them on end of contract deals. There's a couple that we've just nicked on approach to sign deals with minimal compensation. But Christian Christensen was one of those end of season deals, actually. For some reason, Copenhagen let him go. I don't know why. He's our hot prospect now, which is why I'm focusing on him. 2.5 stars will be the backup goalkeeper this year because Severa might be on his way out as well, for reasons that will become clear later on. But he looks decent as is. Currently listed as a 2nd division goalkeeper, perfect backup. Breakthrough prospect, driven, 3.2k, 19 determination, reflexes are there, handling's there, agility's quite good as well. He's 17, and he's our hot prospect. Does make me worried about the rest of the youth players we brought in if the goalkeeper is the best one, in theory. The only grown-up free transfer we made was Zikos, and I think I highlighted this back in January when we made the deal. We've had a real trouble actually enticing people to join us, despite the fact we're in the Champions League. The vast majority have gone to West Ham in the Championship. Yeah, West Ham got relegated, and somehow they have more pulling power than we do. At the very least, they've got more money than we do. The one I'm really annoyed about is Guendouzi, who I just let him have whatever he wanted. He immediately said he wanted 22k. I said, you can have 22k. He went to West Ham for £40,000. If you wanted £40,000, why didn't you ask me for that? I wouldn't have given you it because I can't afford that. But the disappointment would have been less. Anyway, we got Shikos. We've got to be happy with Shikos. Well-rounded, 13s, 14s, 15s. I have changed the colours, so players will look worse. But he's got 16s in leadership determination. He's our new captain, by the way. Fitness is 16, so what physicals he does have will maintain because he's 32. Probably get a good 2 years out of him, I imagine. He is contracted for 3 years. Currently our best left-back, which is problematic. Still have Munoz, but he's better than Munoz. He is our best left-back. I am working on that. We'll do the rest in order of acquisition. Antov, £5 million from Sofia. He's actually on loan in Serie A 2 years ago, which is odd. He's now worth £8 million because we played a few games and done all right in them. For some reason, the value is only going up now. I wish it had gone up at the turn of the season because I might have been able to sell a few more players for a little bit more money. But model citizen, centre-back in theory, 15 tackling, 18 teamwork, determination is 15, aggression, bravery, all good. Jumping reach is good, fitness is good. Actual physical raw pace isn't great, but workable. As his finishing and long shots, they're not horrendous. And for the level of player we can get, I'll absolutely take. He's 21, has more potential ability, in theory. A great personality to imbue the rest of the squad with, in theory. He's 3.5 star as a defensive midfielder. Only 3 as a segundo volante, which is a bit unfortunate. And that's why I'm playing him, because we do have really good defenders as well. It would have been a bit of a defender roulette if I used the 4 defenders in actually defensive roles. Basically, we've got 5 natural defenders in the squad right now. One of them's playing left back, one of them is playing volante. two are actually playing centre-back. You'll see there's a lot of flexibility in our players this year in terms of positions played. Garay can go on both sides. He is left-footed on that right-hand side. 6.25 or 6.5 was his release fee. Yeah, 6.25. Pacey enough, determined enough. Everything attribute-wise is good composure, crossing on a little on the low side, but otherwise 12s and 13s or higher. Everything I want on that right-hand side. Fills the gap left by Nico Williams, of course. They wanted even more money than we paid them last year to get him back on loan. So I just said, no, that's not worth it for a loan. And bought this person for 6.25 million. He's worth more than that now, thankfully. 11 grand a week. Good deal, I think. 2 goals, 1 assist in 3 appearances so far. Good personality too. A familiar face in this year's game. Alex Gallardo's come in for 1.3 million. He was transfer listed. I missed out on the loan for him the past 2 years and got him this year permanently instead. 12 grand a week as a backup. Ironically, he's on more money than Gary, I now realise, who plays ahead of him. Plays on the right, plays on the left, plays in centre midfield in that centre midfield attack position if I need him there. Well-rounded without being sensational. It's a lot of 14, which does make him look a lot worse this year than he would have done last year, because 15 is now the yellow marker. But technique, flair, agility, all above that. A lot of the rest of it's 13 or 14. We know Kayara is a good squad player already from Sheffield United. This is the one the board are most angry about because it's a lot of money. He's on 15 grand per week and a monthly fee. But it's Pedro Porro, who I look at every single year in game, every single season. I see him go on loan to somewhere. I'm like, I wish I'd got him. He's been on Sporting on loan the past 2 years in game. And this time we had an opportunity to go for him. At right back, he's worth 32 million. Obviously on loan from Manchester City. But as a right back, 13 tackling, 11 passing, 11. The marking's atrocious, I'll be honest. But going forward, he's fantastic. Determination's great. The physicals are sensational. He's our best player. Not willing to pay extortionate amounts for loans for wingers, but for fullbacks, which are rare, yes. And then lastly, but probably most surprisingly, Alex Merritt, which probably isn't pronounced Merritt. I let him have £27,000 because I didn't want him to go anywhere else. I used him at Napoli on Glory Hunter. He was very good. There's always one goalkeeper, at the very least, in Serie A that gets transfer listed, and you can't really understand why. In this particular season, it was Alex Merritt, and I'm more than happy to act on Napoli's folly here because he's a really good goalkeeper. He's our second best player in the squad, according to the season preview. He's a good player for most first division sides, which is what Severa's potential is. So he's already at Severa's potential at 25, with a little bit of room to grow as a goalkeeper. That comes a little bit later, so he's going to grow into that potential in theory as Christensen develops as a young goalkeeper. So we have a natural progression in that sense. But yeah, 3.1 million. We played 3 games, kept 3 clean sheets, but for some baffling reason, Napoli don't play him. The AI choose to use Ospina ahead of him. I'm not fully certain why, although AI Ospina is better than when he was under my control. Fair enough. Like I said, 3 games played, no goals conceded. Araujo scored 4. Antov, Gary also on the score sheets, along with Gallardo, who scored a ridiculously good goal, which I don't have time to show you probably. We were momentarily top during the last game week, until Real Madrid played later on in that day and went top on Alphabet, as far as I can tell. But yes, no goals conceded, but the first real test in the form of Atletico Madrid, Valladolid, Zaragoza, Espanyol, 2 promoted sides and 1 promoted sides from last year. Now we've got one of the big boys. Although Valladolid drawing with Barcelona. So the lineup for this particular game is Merritt in goal, Zikos at left back, Kiros, Sotalo, Porro, Cognac and Antov, Suarez, Eisfeld, Gary and Araujo up front, who you saw top goal scorer at the moment after 3 games. I was looking to get a striker better than Araujo, but he started very well. And with Caloris, admittedly 2-star Caloris, as backup and youth prospects, I'm not going to feel horrible if I don't get a better player than Araujo to start the line. Also a note on Iglesias, who has actually started the first 2 games of the season. I think he might have started all 3 actually so far, whilst Eisfeld returned from an injury. Yeah, he doesn't look great, but he is regarded as 2 stars. And the physicals are sensational. And I think the game times helped. He's 6.7 the first 3 games as a 17-year-old, so I'm not going to complain too much. Bazukic is back from injury as well. He's on the bench. The first game of the season was particularly interesting because we had 3 players suspended from the Real Madrid match at the end of last season and 2 injuries. We were a little bit bare bones for that one. Still 2-0'd it, thankfully. One thing eagle-eye viewers will have noticed is we've not really scored in the early stages of any game so far. They've always come a little bit late, the goals. All 4 of the ones last time out were in the second half. But Atletico's side, I think it's just made its first major change in the form of a Kanji at centre-back. It's been fairly consistent to what we know from Atletico Madrid until now. We did actually loan Vitola, who was released by Atletico. His physicals were quite bad, and he was 32. With a very poor natural fitness, so they're only going to get worse really quickly. As an overall star rating, would have been a great acquisition, but I could see that was going to be a problem within about 6 months. Zikos with a throw-in, back to Eisfeld. Zikos, I'm going to go with that pronunciation by the way. Araujo, back to Antov on the edge of the box, and that is lined up for, oh my lord, Valentin Antov. I mean, he said, and have that. Thank God. Wow. Absolutely John Smith that into the back of the goal. Just settles himself, lines up the shot, powers it past. I presume that to be Oblak in goal. Oh no, it's Gerbic, who in fairness is apparently as good as Merit. Oblak is injured. What a time to be playing Atletico Madrid then. Oblak injured. Lads, I wasn't aware of this. Make the most of the fact that we don't have Oblak in goal here. Gerbic isn't horrible, let's be real, he's as good as our goalkeeper on paper, but make the most of the fact that it's not Oblak. Jikos, Kiros, back to Merit, Sotalo, a little bit pointless that pass back, and now they're playing out from the back of their defence instead. Llorente, good passing play so far in this build-up. Saul's on the right, Saul's being tracked, Saul's just faced through a player and smacked it over from about 35 yards. All that highlight was building up to that shot. Oh well, Llorente now, maybe this highlight will be a bit better. Icefeld to no one. Llorente, Koke, and Kanji. Hermoso on this left-hand side. They worked it across, switched the play to the left. Back in was to Koke. Are forcing them back a bit, but they have cut us through there. Lamar on this left-hand side, a player that we're told to track and haven't done. Good to know the boys are listening to the opposition instructions. The one advantage of having 4 centre-backs on the pitch is that at set pieces, defensively, we've got quite a tall set of players. Lamar whips that one in, Saul's at the back post. Porro, oh dear, that's unfortunate. For us, fortunate for them. Porro, I think, just heads this directly into the path of Llorente. Saul. No, Merit actually blocks the shot. Porro wasn't involved. It just looked like he was. Merit with a very instinctive save there, ends up palming it into the middle of the box, which is not great goalkeeping in that sense, but great goalkeeping to stop the original shot. I can't be too angry there. Should I say, I've not changed anything about the formation going into this year, because why would I? Neither inside forward performing particularly well in today's game. Jikos has that one clear. Araujo will gather, as he tends to do. There's a lovely switch available, but I don't think that player is actually running particularly quickly, which is unfortunate for Araujo here. He's still got the ball. It's into the box. Gary's at the back post. That was the least Atletico conceding I've ever seen from Atletico. Defensively, absent from Atletico there. That is super uncharacteristic from them. Araujo, just back post. Gary there. Easy as you like. Just got a player behind him. The central defender's way ahead of him. I presume that it's the defender behind him playing him on. Oh no, it's the defender in front of Araujo playing him on. I think that's what foxed the rest of the defence. And because Madrid haven't played, we will go top with the win. We go top with the draw, in fairness. Porro, Gary. Porro, this would be a famous victory, though. At Atletico. He's gone back to Gerbic. He's got a player pressing him. He's solved that temporarily. It's been moved forward very nicely, actually, here. Saul moves inwards. Bypasses the left back. Got a centre-back charging him now. Quiros with a great tackle. I mean, it's obviously a great tackle. Lovely weather we're having. Just got to talk about something whilst he consults the box. Checking the penalty now. Yeah, it's got nice and sunny, hasn't it, though? Oh, he's on the pitch. No penalty. Yes, I saw that with my own 2 eyes, but I can't be too certain with this game engine. I've seen penalties given for less. So Icefeld off for Zukic. Suarez off for Gallardo has been suggested as the best position for that role. Yes, looking at the comparison, that is probably the sensible play. And Cognac for Lopez. I'm going to make all 3 changes 12 minutes from time as Antov dips into very tired conditioning, as does Gary. So good timing on those changes, but Gary now finds Gallardo on the edge of the box, who's scored another banger. One thing I'll say about the goal he scored in the last match was Di Canio-esque. In fact, he scored now. I'll show it afterwards. If I've got time, I'll leave it in. But Gallardo, oh, what a finish. Okay, note to self, start Gallardo next match. He's come on in 2 games and scored in both of them. Maya. The interesting thing is, I'm actually bringing in a lone option for that position, who's better than everyone who can play there, in theory. Gallardo's making a case for starting there. Jimenez, though. Maya. Groningen Jorgensen, which is a fantastic name. Oh, good God. Apparently we're playing bangers only today. Although Llorente didn't get that memo. Right, let's be honest here. If this result had happened off screen, would have you been suspicious by it? Because I can't quite believe what I've just seen. I know they didn't have Oblak in goal. Merit conceded 1, but let's be real, he did well in the initial save. Slightly odd that this side haven't performed as well as the right-hand side. Even Cognac, who came off, was sub-7 as well. A very weird left-right split. So apparently we're now title contenders. So it turns out that wasn't a one-season fluke then. Okay. So as promised, here's Gallardo's goal from the Espanyol game. Antov did a little ball rollover, dinks it off to that left-hand side and wham. Told you it was Di Canio-esque. I don't think Real Madrid play till Monday here. So the barest minimum, we get 2 whole days of being top. As mentioned, was bringing in another central midfielder. This is that central midfielder. 3.5 stars as a central midfielder attack is a full star more. And you can sort of see why. Likes the big game as well, consistent, just paying his wages from Barcelona. This was the interesting one I wanted to talk about. Barcelona initially wanted his wages plus a monthly paying fee. We didn't have the money for it, and it ended up falling through. Same with the left back from PSG, Kurzawa, who ended up going for an actual fee to another club. But now, as a few weeks after this loan failed to go through, approached them again because we possibly could afford it now. They didn't want a monthly fee anymore. So thanks, Barcelona. Despite Gallardo's performance, I'm still saying yes. Depth is needed, and he is absolutely the starter in that position. Just one weird thing from the world of football in this save. Long-term fans of me will understand how odd this is. Aberroy is playing for Burnley. Is a signing that I made when I was managing Burnley. They've been relegated as well. Just a general club update as well. Financially, they won't let me have any more money. There's no option for me to ask for more transfer money. So, with the £20 million up front from TV money, I asked them to improve the facilities again, and they are doing so. Also, a bunch of other things. I also got them to improve the percentage, considering the fact we are 20 plus million in the good. The fact we had 75% funds was a bit weird. One thing I will say about Severo, by the way, I keep offering him out for his release fee. Clubs keep coming in for him. He keeps rejecting them until now. Sheffield United, he's agreed to go to. But he rejected Bologna, I think. He rejected other La Liga sides. Premier League, though, apparently, that's tasty enough for him to go there. Sheffield United technically didn't actually trigger his release fee. It's part upfront, part over time. So we'll only see about £2 million worth of Severo's transfer fee, I think. And that's all going to go into a left-back, I imagine. Although we do get £40 million now because the group stage has been triggered. So we are indeed seeded 4th. The first seeds have been drawn. Group A, please. Second seeds added to the pool. Barcelona, of course, second seed for this one. At this stage, Group B looking horrible. Group D looking horrible. Third seeds added to the equation. I'm still looking at Group A. Looking a bit at Group G as well. I think we might be able to nick Porto, perhaps. Group C with Ajax is now looking more dangerous. Group F with Napoli and Kiev. It'd be fun to beat Napoli with merit. Lille get Group A. The Young Boys are going to get destroyed in Group B. Gladbach get Group C. That's a really tough group. Club Bruges, who we played in the preseason, get Group D. Hertha Berlin get Group E. Rangers, Fenerbahce, Rangers in the Champions League, by the way. Good news for those fans. But Rangers, Fenerbahce, and Tenerife remain. We are the lowest seed. Rangers get Group F. So, which is worse? Man City, Porto, Marseille, or Dortmund, Inter, Sporting? Obviously, Man City worse than Dortmund, Inter worse than Porto. Marseille and Sporting? Last team drawn out. Inter, Dortmund, Tenerife, Sporting. I think this all depends on who Dortmund have left. Haaland is gone, but Moukoko obviously there. I'm looking at that 11 and thinking, okay, we still have Royce, who's not in this squad for whatever reason. And this 11 for Inter Milan, who have sold Martinez defensively. Oh, they've got Gosens, who is sensational. At this stage, I feel like Inter Milan are harder than Dortmund. And Sporting still have Mendes at left back. Otherwise, third in last year's Liga NOS. So tough group. Tough group, and I will bring you that first fixture against Inter Milan. I'll probably tag the Sevilla game that precedes it as well. So there's only going to be one game played off episode. Now that the Champions League is a thing, there's going to be more episodes in a season, I do imagine. So a little bit shorter gaps, obviously very short gap this time round, but that's just the way it falls. We do close it with Sporting, so we'll probably feature, we will feature, of course, this Inter Milan game that's next, one of the Dortmund games, and the closing Sporting game, I imagine will be the way we sort things out. Sporting splits Real Madrid and Barcelona in the schedule, but Barcelona is post-Qatar World Cup. I've just recognised that. It is that year. Sevilla and Inter next time around. Obviously, that performance against Atletico Madrid gives me a little bit more confidence for the Champions League than I had before. But Inter, Dortmund, Sporting, 3 tough opponents, added to La Liga fixtures, might pose a different question when tiredness becomes a factor and rotation is required. I'll see you for that Inter match very soon. Until then, ta-ra.